This video is about togetherness, okay? So just together with me, we are one, you and I. We are one, you and I. We are like the earth and sky, two families under the sun. Do you know what that's from?
Nope.
It's from Lion King 2. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
hungry.
Yeah, we are hungry. We had craft dinner for lunch.
We have no food.
We
Jamie
might have
didn't go get
zoodles.
groceries.
I did get groceries. I got craft
Clearly
dinner.
not enough.
I got craft dinner. I got cereal. I got
salad. That's what I want. A big salad.
Well, you're going to have to go and buy a salad because I definitely did not buy salad material. We are back again with another top 10 video. And today's top 10 is going to be all about co-op games. That's why we're working as such a great team right now.
Really?
This guy and me. Teaming it up. So, you know, co-op games aren't necessarily always our favorite games. However, as I was going through the list, because we each made our own top 10, I was like, some of my favorite games are actually co-op games.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a few that are, yeah.
Yeah, so
I just think in general, actually, you know what? The list of my co-op games, this list,
they're bangers.
A lot of them are in my top, like, 20. I guess that makes sense, but
yeah,
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. So we are going to each give you our number 10 to number 1. They are actually ranked. We have our own lists. And just like we said in our top 10 heavy games, if they are out of order based on what our top 50 was, just don't worry about it. You know, our minds change on a daily basis. Okay?
Yep, that's fact.
I don't know if it will be out of order, but I just wanted to say it. Because I can almost guarantee someone's going to be like, well, actually, in your top 50 games, I recall that this one was at this and this one was at that.
People do love being corrective.
People love doing corrections. Okay, Jeffrey, would you like to go?
Are we doing any honorable
Yes,
mentions?
We will do some honorable mentions.
How many do you have?
Like 5.
I have 3.
Okay, go for it.
My 3 honorable mentions are, I'm just going to list them.
Yeah.
Micro Macro. I want to play that again.
I do too. It's just been years. It's literally been years since we played it.
It just reminds me of all my years growing up with Where's Waldo.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Journeys in Middle Earth and Imperial Assault. Also honorable mentions, just because we need to play them and we haven't. And similarly, Return to Dark Tower.
Oh, interesting. I was expecting that to be on your 10.
It would be.
We haven't played it
if we played
so long.
It in a long time.
Yeah. So I have like a butt ton of honorable mentions. I found it really, really, really hard to put this list down to 10. Like I was stuck at 20 for a while and I was like, I can't cut any of these.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. So my honorable mentions, I have Freelancers from Plaid Hat Games is an honorable mention for me. Great game. The Initiative is an honorable mention for me. This was the one that like just missed my top 10, but it's been years since we've played it and, you know, just is what it is.
Got it. You hate The Initiative.
No, I don't. Tranquility just missed it for me.
Spicy.
Vagrant Song just missed it for me. And Banish the Snakes. I would like to play that one more, but if we played it more, I feel like I would.
No Crew?
This isn't the bottom 10 co-op games of all time. So those are my honorable mentions. All great games. But yeah. Jeff, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is going to be a little, a hot take.
Oh,
a spicy take.
Okay. Starting
to list off hot. This game does not get enough appreciation for how good it is.
Yeah. 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 You're right.
You don't even know what it is.
What is it?
And it is Cuphead.
So.
You know, here we go.
That should be an honorable mention for me. I did remove it from it. That was on my short 20.
Cuphead is a real-time dice rolling game based off of the Cuphead IP, the Cuphead video game.
Yes.
In Cuphead, you are racing through scenarios that get increasingly difficult, rolling dice, trying to match up iconography in order to ultimately do damage to the bosses. It's kind of like everyone's freaking out about these roguelite video games and the board games that are now coming out that are similar, but this one's there. It's not really a roguelite. I keep saying roguelite. Roguelike. But it's similar enough that you're racing through these things, and like if you lose, you know, you lose.
Yeah.
You're done. You gotta restart.
Stressful.
It's incredibly stressful. There's a really cool app that comes with it, but the app is just a timer. It's a thematic timer with thematic music. And it's 3 levels of difficulty. You can do it very fast. And basically each level is like how quickly you have to like roll the dice, because you can roll them and kind of save them and roll them again, and you're trying to again match iconography, so each level makes that a little bit quicker. It is frantic. I've had a blast every time we've played it, and one that I want to table more.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
So good. Yeah, just missed my list. It was in my short 20. And you can play it in a cool Daniel 45.
I don't like that you keep throwing out short 20 like it's a thing everyone should know.
Do you guys
like
it's
a key phrase.
That's my short 20. Okay, Cuphead was in it. Jeff, jeez. All right, my number 10, I believe was higher the last time we did this list. I don't remember, but it's been a while since we played it, and that is Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is a cooperative board game where you are fending off different spirits, different ghosts from the town, and it's almost a bit like tower defense-y. So you're kind of in this grid in the middle of the board. Each like space of the grid you can like do different things in. And there's just, like I said, there's spirits kind of coming in at you, and they come out faster and faster, and you have to try and defeat them. This game is notoriously like impossible to beat. We have never done it. We do have a playthrough of it. You can watch it, but just know if you don't like when people make rules mistakes, you won't like it. But we did our best. But it's definitely a little bit of a challenging game, but I really like it. I'd love to get it to the table again. I feel like we say that about every game, that's just not the reality of our lives. And I would like to try it solo sometime, I think.
There is a re-implementation of this game called Last Bastion, just FYI, in case you're having difficulties finding Ghost Stories.
I almost picked it up at the charity sale.
We don't need it.
We didn't need it. We have Ghost Stories, and I just prefer the theme.
My number 9 is a game we've talked about very frequently. Jamie has already mentioned it in her, was it short 20?
My short 20.
In her short 20?
Yeah.
That is Vagrant Song. Vagrant Song is a boss battler. What's the art style?
Old school.
Old school cartoony.
Ghost.
I think there's a name for it.
There definitely is. It's
old
like
school,
Popeye.
Yeah, old school cartoony artwork. It's beautiful. My only drawback with this game is the targeting aspect of this. We got to play this recently with our friends Kyle and his wife Tiffany. And we had a great time with it. I'm excited to explore it more. It's a game we've never been able... We play it very piecemeal.
Yeah.
We've played it a bunch of times, but only 1 or 2 scenarios, so I'm excited to play through it. You're basically just moving, trying to complete objectives. There's a little bit of bag building element to it. Each person has their own kind of asymmetry. But you're just trying to fight off these haints. And they are, you're basically trying to like increase their humanity to bring them back.
Well, they're decreasing your humanity.
Bring them back to the, our world, I guess. Love it. It's awesome. I have a great time playing it every time we play it.
Love. I feel like it's just going to jump up my list as we continue to play it. Because like Jeff said, we've only really played like the beginning scenarios. So I'm really curious to see.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right over there. I'm really curious to see how it like develops. My number 9, I doubt, is on Jeff's list. But that is Dwarf Romantic. Not on your list. I didn't think so.
Ghost Stories isn't either.
I assumed. So Dwarf Romantic, I started playing this game on the Switch. Okay, so it's like a video game that was a video game of a board game, and then they made the board game.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is just...
Board game didn't exist, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's like you were playing the video game of the board game, and they're like, we should probably make a physical version of this. It's just the most like relaxing kind of game. You are just building out like a village, basically, by pulling tiles, placing them, and trying to score as many points as you can. It's a bit of a campaign game, so as you like score certain levels, you get to unlock new tiles and kind of go through it, and it just expands and expands. So this is a game that I would love to play solo. I think this is one of those games, if we had the time or space or whatever, to just leave set up and then every day just play like a scenario of it.
We do have the space.
We do. But not the time right now. I just find it really nice and relaxing, and I really enjoy it, and I would love to play it more.
I knew it would be on your list.
Yeah, it's totally my kind of game. All you need to do, Jeff, is you just need to loop it in.
Just loop it in. My number 8 has already, again, been mentioned in Jamie's Short 20. It is Banish the Snakes from GMT Games. Banish the Snakes is a pandemic-y style board game where you are just trying to overcome crises that's happening all around you. The theme of this game is you are in Ireland, I believe.
St. Patrick. It's St. Patrick.
It is themed around St. Patrick. You are in Ireland and you are trying to overcome Catholicism.
Yes.
Or is it convert people to Catholicism?
One of them.
In Banish the Snakes, you are playing as different
priests?
Priests, yeah. Trying to convert pagans to Christianity. And you're going to be doing this through a series of hierarchies, I guess. Like, there's the King of Ireland, and if you can convert the King of Ireland, it's easier to convert everyone below him because everyone answers to the king, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're basically going around, and each turn there's an event card that's going to cascade through this event planning phase, and there's going to be game triggers that are going to make things more difficult. So as the game goes along, conditions get harder and harder to convert all of these pagans to Christianity, but it's basically done through dice rolling and dice mitigation.
It's hard.
It is very difficult, but if you're looking for like a more in-depth, like robust co-op game, this would be one to check out. It's if
you like Pandemic and you're like more.
It's a little bit more involved. There's a little bit more to it. The event cards are very procedural. There's lots of different little tracks. But again, if you like Pandemic, if you like that style of game, but you're looking for something a little bit more robust, Banish the Snakes is definitely one to check out.
I think we did a whole snapshot on it. You want to hear our thoughts? Obviously, we like it. So my number 8. Classic. It's Horrified, which I know is not on Jeff's list. I love Horrified. I will be a Horrified fangirl for my whole life. I even picked it to do a solo mode on the BGG series because you can play it solo. That's the beauty of co-op games, is most of them you can play solo as well. And in Horrified, you are essentially you're picking a couple of the different either Universal monsters, American monsters, Greek monsters, pick and choose.
Have you played the Greek one yet?
I haven't yet. And you're just trying to overcome those monsters cooperatively. Everybody's going to have a little bit of like an asymmetric ability that they can do, and each of the monsters has a different way that they need to be defeated. I love it, but I love like classic monster themes, and I don't know. There's just something about this game. It's very beautiful. Colors really do shine. I love it. And if you haven't tried it, I feel like it's super approachable. And a lot of people have played this one, which I think is great. It's almost, could it soon be considered a modern classic?
No.
I think it is.
Come off it. It just came out like 2 years ago.
Modern. It's a modern classic, Jeff.
My number 7 has also been mentioned in Jamie's Short 20.
My Short 20.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed my list with that Short 20. It is Freelancers from Plaid Hat Games. It is the latest iteration in their, what's it called? Crossroads system of games. So similarly along the lines of Forgotten Waters and
Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter. Thank you.
Welcome.
Your memory is much better than mine. Freelancers is a Crossroads game where ultimately you are cooperatively trying to act as mercenaries, and you're going on a bunch of different quests. You are hired to do all of these things, and the Crossroads system is really unique because each time something comes up, in terms of like an objective or a story event or what have you, everyone gets to kind of pick what they want to do during that round. So maybe one of those options is to go to the bar and get some information. You can choose to do that. But you have to like talk about where people are going to go, because some things are required. You have to go do some things to progress the story forward. So usually one person has to go and agree to do that thing, to trigger that thing in order to proceed with the story. But everyone else is kind of free to do what they want. And it's really awesome. The app narration story of these games is incredible. I don't think Dead of Winter has it, but Freelancers and Forgotten Waters in particular. I've had a really great time with all of these games. Freelancers or Forgotten Waters is kind of a toss-up for me. I would take either, but I prefer the mercenary theme to the pirate theme. But I know a lot of people prefer the pirate theme. Win-win in this instance for me. But I love the system. I love the colorful, beautiful art and the story and all the things that come with it.
Silly because part of the game is you're completing like Mad Libs. Through the story that you're building. And it's just nonsense. Forgotten Waters is a little bit more semi-co-op because you can like screw people over a little bit more, even though you're playing on the same team and working together. This could totally be higher on my list because I freaking love it. Love. My number 7, I assume, is going to be higher on Jeff's. Maybe it's a crossover, who knows? But it's a new
I just said my number 7, so it's not, unless yours is free.
Oh, never mind. It's not. It's a new to us game, and that is Mechs vs. Minions. So Mechs vs. Minions is a campaign game that's been sitting on our shelf for a little while now, and Jeff was just like, let's just pull it out and see. So Mechs vs. Minions is a programming game, which I think is so cool because we don't have a lot of programming games. We haven't played a ton of programming games like Colt Express. I think Robo Rally is, but we haven't played it yet. We do own it. So anyways, you are playing as mechs. Minions? Mechs? Are we the mechs?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're playing as mechs and you're trying to, in different scenarios, defeat minions that are out on the board. And you're doing it almost like as a bit of like a deck builder, deck construction, a little bit based on the cards that are going to be coming out, which are programming cards, which you're going to be putting out in front of you on your little player mat. And then you're going to like sequentially resolve those things. And your little mech is getting damaged and you have to overcome that. And the scenarios get more difficult as time goes on and you're doing that collectively. I know it's going to be higher. I don't know, but I do know. Anyways.
No comment.
We've only played a few scenarios so far, but like the very first 5 minutes of us playing the first scenario, we were like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And then we played it again that same night and we're just like so excited to really dive into this campaign. I think it's going to be a campaign game that we actually finish.
I've been asking to play it for a while and you keep saying no.
That's a lie. The last time I said yes, you were like, but I don't really feel like setting it all up.
That's
true.
My number 6 is Rasputin. Cthulhu Death May Die.
Not on my list. It was in my short 20.
Cthulhu Death May Die is another kind of boss battler where you are going around in different scenarios trying to summon a big baddie. Could be Haster, could be Cthulhu. That's in season 1. We haven't played season 2 yet. I don't know who all, but basically you're summoning a big bad minion to fight. And you need to defeat that big baddie in order to win the scenario. But the first half of it is kind of like maybe you need to go light for ruins or something. And then there's all of these bad guys that are all over this map. And you're just trying to survive. There is a track that you can power yourself up through, and you're basically unlocking new abilities to give you more dice to roll. So combat is all done by dice, and usually by the end of the game,
so many dice.
You almost go into like this god mode, like throwing out 20 dice and doing a ton of damage. It's silly, it's simple, but it's incredibly enjoyable every time I play it. I love just being so overpowered that you just feel like nobody can stop you. I love it. I'll always love it. And it's always going to be on this list, I think.
Yeah. See, I love it too. But the thing is, every time we play, we typically play with new people. So we've just only played like the first 2 scenarios over and over and over again. I would really like to play some more. And the other thing about this game and the reason it didn't make my 10 is just because for me, my enjoyment level is completely dependent on which character I'm playing. And Jeff always plays as Rasputin, so he always has a great time because he's setting everything on fire.
You can play as Rasputin.
As if you would give that up.
I would. That's an empath. I'm an empath.
Sure, yeah. My number 6 is most likely not on Jeff's list. That is Paint the Roses.
No.
I love Paint the Roses.
It's fine.
Jeff doesn't get it.
I do get it. That's not correct.
No, I mean, you don't get the love.
I don't get the love. I get the game.
Anyways, this is a cooperative deduction game based in the world of Alice in Wonderland, and you are going to have like a certain pattern card in your hand. There's easy, medium, hard. It might be two colors or 2 shapes or color and a shape depending on the difficulty level, and you're placing out these tiles into the garden, and then you're going to be putting out cubes to give people clues on what you have in your hand. If they get it right, that's great, you get to progress. If they get it wrong, well, the Queen of Hearts is going to progress and come after you and try and chop off your head. It's really difficult to win, but for me, I think this is it's such a unique puzzle. And I like how difficult it is. And I always find it really interesting because whoever you play this with, people give clues in just the ways that you're like, what? So what? So like what? And you can't talk about what you're doing. You're just placing out your little cubies. And that's probably one of the reasons why you don't love it. But you can play this on BGA. I played it quite a few times actually with a few people from the Discord.
Hard on BGA.
It is so hard on BGA. It's hard in real life.
Yeah.
We have everything for this game.
Have we ever won?
I think we won one time. One time, yeah. And we have like all the expansions and everything, but I personally love it.
Listen, it's a good game. It's beautiful. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Hey there, party people. We interrupt this very important top 10 list to talk to you about something that has nothing to do with cooperative games. And I'm coming to you from the fanciest area of our house with my good friend Laszlo here. We're here today to talk to you about the World Series of Board Gaming, which just happens to be the sponsor of today's video. Now, you've heard us talk about the World Series of Board Gaming before, so we're here to talk about it again because it's happening again this year in September, once again in Las Vegas, baby. You'll love to see it. That's why I'm in the fancy part of the house, because Vegas is very fancy. At the World Series of Board Gaming, you have the opportunity to compete in a ton of different games to potentially be named the ultimate champion. You will have an opportunity to win your share of like $200,000 American dollars, which is just, that's so many Canadian dollars. That's crazy. And you also still get an opportunity to win that sweet, sweet champion ring, which once again, cooler than the Super Bowl ring. You are going to get to compete in games like this one and this one, also this one, how about that one? Even classics like this one. And if you don't want to go to compete, well, guess what? You can go just for fun. That's probably what I would need to do because I am terrible at board games. But you're not. You're amazing at board games, and you should go and you should compete. If you are interested in attending the World Series of Board Gaming, there's going to be a link in our description below, and we also have a coupon code for $25 off your ticket. Use the code Meeple to get that off, and make sure you use that link in the description below. It's going to be so much fun, and you're going to win everything. I'm talking to you. Don't let nobody else listen, okay? Everybody tune out. I'm only just talking to you. So is Laszlo. Okay, let's get back to talking about co-op games, shall we?
My number 5 was also on Jamie's short 20, and I actually cannot believe it didn't crack her top 10. It actually pisses me off. My number 5 is The Initiative. Mm-hmm. The Initiative is one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Yeah. And it is a kind of one and done situation. You play it through once. It is kind of, it's not legacy, but it is kind of like there's secrets and stuff that are going to come up and you can't really...
There's additional content after, but we haven't.
Yes, that's true. Yes, we haven't done the additional content. But even when you do the additional content, it's kind of done.
Yeah.
That being said, The Initiative is a scenario-based kind of deduction game where you are actually playing a game within the game. So you are all acting as these kids in what I think is like the 80s.
Yeah.
And you're
80s or 90s.
You discover a game. And in the game, there's all of these clues. And it's comic book style. The art is incredible. And you're just following along as these characters in this story, trying to uncover what this game is. There's these mysteries that happen. And there's code breaking and deduction and so many cool little elements to this. I highly, highly, highly recommend this if you have kids or if you're just
a couple. It's
a couple
great for
and
a couple.
you just want to spend some time together and dive into something that is very unique and will leave you with a ton of positive memories. The initiative is just, again, one of the best experiences I've had in this hobby, and it will always hold a place very, very dear to me. Unfortunately, my wife does not agree.
I do too. It was on my short 20. It's been, well, we finished it like probably 2 years ago at this point.
Listen, it's fine.
But it is like, I don't think we've played any other game where we've literally been like, oh, what? And like things have happened that have literally been like, that's crazy.
Well,
so
clearly it wasn't
Jeff,
quite
get
enough
over it.
for you.
Stop it.
To put it in your top 10. I guess I had more memories together of that game.
I have memories too. My number 5 is Kinfire Delve. Is that not on your list? Really? No. That's shocking.
This is a banger list, man. I do really like Kinfire Delve,
right down there.
But I think Kinfire Delve is a better solo game.
Yes. See, so this list was a little bit confusing for me to make because a lot of these games I really love solo, and that's why I love them so much.
I love Kinfire Delve 2-player.
Yeah.
I do, but I left it off because it's just as good solo.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, I agree.
I'm saying you're wrong, but it's fine.
I'm right. Kinfire Delve is awesome. Basically, you are each playing as a unique seeker. You have some special abilities and you have your own deck, and you are delving through a well, trying to get through, the well is a deck of cards basically, trying to overcome these challenges until you get to the boss. And then you have to do an entire boss battle and defeat the boss in order to win. You are doing that by, like I said, completing the challenges by playing out cards in your hand that have the matching colors. And you are trying to overcome that, and other people can help boost you when you're trying to overcome the challenges. You're rolling dice that are also going to help you. The cards have actions on them. It is extremely challenging to win this game. You can play it solo, you can play it 2 players. Now that there are more iterations of this game, you can actually play it at 4 players. You could play it with more than 2 players, which is also cool. But I just think this is a really great challenge. If you're looking for that, it's a small box, it's just cards and some dice, and it's super fun, and it's freaking beautiful.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out. I'm kidding. Like, Kinfire Delve is incredible. It didn't make my list, but it easily could have.
Was it in your short 20?
It wasn't in my short 20. Some of these games are some of my favorite games of all time, so that's difficult. I think if this was like top 10 solo games, Kinfire Delve would be on that list.
Yeah, sure.
But it's very good cooperatively, too. Number 4 was already on Jamie's list.
Oh.
And that is Mechs versus Minions. I'm not going to go into it. Jamie basically said everything I wanted to say. The only thing I will add to it is the production quality of this game is probably the best I've ever seen. Mechs versus Minions that's the copy you get, and it is insane.
It's like in a suitcase.
It is insane, the quality of components that are in that game. As Jamie mentioned, is programmatic. So you basically have to program your mech to move around the map and do it efficiently. And if you it breaks down your program. So maybe your mech just starts spinning in a circle, which has happened to me. Where you're like, turn left. It's like, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn right, turn left. Like, that can happen. And it's so silly, but it's so freaking fun. I'm so excited to play more of it. It will continue to rise. I think it's already up there, but man, what a great time.
So good. My number 4 is a classic. It's Mansions of Madness. Is that on your list? It's higher on your list.
I thought that. All right.
Wow.
Keep your secrets.
All right, you keep your secrets. Mansions of Madness, classic, one of my all-time favorite games, and has been one of my all-time favorite games since we got into the hobby.
Apparently, you don't like it as much as I do. But
that actually is crazy to me. But anyways, we'll see kind of what your top 3 are. Mansions of Madness is amazing. It's another Lovecraftian. You are fighting to kind of go through a map. Like, it could be a house, it could be a dock. The dock is in my mind because it is the scenario that Jeff and I have played and lost.
At 2-player,
and played and lost. And lost.
I want to quickly caveat this. At 2-player, some of the scenarios are
near impossible,
crazy hard, to the point where you like there's a ton of like house rules of like give yourself 1 extra action, or you'll never beat it.
Exactly. Anyways, you were just doing that until you get to like basically the final boss, or you're trying to overcome this scenario. It'll give you the parameters of what that looks like. And what I love about this one in particular is that you can interact with like NPCs, you can investigate, and there's like puzzles and stuff that will pop up that you have to complete.
It is app driven.
And it is app driven, and I love the app because it gives you all the atmospheric music and everything. And this game is always going to be one of my favorite games. Like, it just, there's something special about it. We played it again with Emily and Doolin when they came to visit us, and it was their first time. We had a great time. I'd love to get more expansions and play more, because we only have 1 expansion so far.
Maybe you'll hear that again. My number 3 is Stardew Valley.
3! I thought we would have a true crossover.
Is it not? Yours is what?
I'm not telling you.
Must be 2 then, because I know what your 1 is.
You don't.
Our one is probably going to be a crossover. Stardew Valley is a cooperative game based off of one of my favorite video games of all time, Stardew Valley. In Stardew Valley, you are playing out the video game. If you know what the video game is, great. That's what you're doing. If not, in Stardew Valley, you are trying to complete Grandpa's goals. You have inherited a farm, and you have to go through a bunch of different objectives in order to appease Grandpa. He's going to come back as a ghost and check you out and make sure you're doing good things by the community and by the farm. So you're... it's been out forever. It's not really a spoiler. You're going to be raising livestock. You're going to be raising crops. You're going to be donating bundles to the community center. You're going to be mining to get to the bottom of the mine for resources. And all of these objectives change each game. And what's really cool is in this iteration, each person can kind of decide what they want to do, especially at higher player counts. Like last time we played it at 3. I really like to just mine in this game. Yeah. And which is funny because
every iteration, board game and
because in the video game I also just like to mine. So in the board game I just am like, all right, going to the mines today because one of our objectives is getting to the bottom of the mine, and it's not easy. There's some luck you have to get. Jamie likes to fish, I think. Yeah. Nick was kind of just running around doing a bunch of different stuff. But if you like Stardew Valley, the video game, and you're into board games and you're into co-op games, this is probably as close to a no-brainer as I could ever recommend to someone. I don't traditionally like to recommend a ton of things because I don't know everyone's tastes. But again, if you like Stardew Valley, this board game is the video game. It's very, very fun and challenging and beautiful, and I have a ton of fun every time I play it.
I'll talk about it later. My number 3
is very good.
Is not one? I don't know. You have to wait. My number 3 is not going to be on Jeff's list. That is Marvel Champions. And I contemplated whether or not... See, this is, once again, is where this list got a little bit confusing.
I would like to play it again.
Yeah.
But I don't like it nearly. So I'm just not...
Yeah.
Marvel is...
So, and the reason I say that is because I love...
She just gave me the sassiest look.
So I love to play Marvel Champions solo. It's one of my all-time favorite solo games. However, I did recently play it co-op with my brother, and I had a great time. So I think it does still belong in this position on this list. Marvel Champions is a TCG? CCG?
CCG.
Is a CCG collectible card game. It's a card-driven game where you are playing as different Marvel heroes and you are trying to defeat and overcome different Marvel villains. You are doing that by...
LCG.
Living card game.
Yeah.
So you are doing that by thwarting their schemes and attacking them, and all of the heroes work differently. As an example, like Iron Man, you have to build up his suit before you can fight. Like,
it's the only character I've ever played as.
Jeff loves the Iron Man character. I love playing as Spider-Man or Scarlet Witch. I have Black Widow. Like, I have a ton. I love them. And it's just like, it's so challenging. And depending on what villains and what heroes, the game is always different. So I love it. There's so much content for it. And I would like to play it co-op again.
You should ask Jason to play it with you.
Yeah, my brother also really likes it. Yeah.
Probably better than playing it with me.
But don't you want to try it again?
I do want to try it again, yeah. And not Iron Man. I want to try something. Maybe that'll bring me into it.
Yeah. You should play one of the new characters. Oh, if I should buy Gambit and then you can play as Gambit. Because I think I own Rogue, so we could do Gambit and Rogue. That would be pretty fun.
I'd play as Gambit. Gambit's my favorite. All right, my number 2 has already been mentioned. Mansions of Madness. I can't believe I have it higher than Jamie.
Me either.
A few reasons. One, Mansions of Madness, there is so much history and memory of that game, of us playing it together and growing up together in the hobby. It was one of our first games. There's a ton of nostalgia. It's an incredible immersive experience. I also want to get some of the expansions because we've pretty much played all of our content
I think
to the nth degree. My only gripe with this game is the freaking minis, man.
Oh, they're brutal.
God, they suck.
They're so bad.
Like, the stands don't work.
You have to, like, glue them.
It's so, like... I would rather just play with, like, wooden meeples at this point.
Cubes.
But, yeah, Mansions of Madness is so immersive and so incredibly fun, and I love it. And I'm shocked that I love it more than Jamie.
What can you do? What number are you on, 2?
I'm on 1. You're on...
Okay, so my number 2 is going to be Jeff's number 1, and that is Too Many Bones.
Stardew's your 1?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Well, spoiler. Anyways, Too Many Bones. I thought it was fitting. Number 2, Too Many Bones.
Is that only why you put it there?
No. I was back and forth between putting it as number 1 versus Stardew, but I think Stardew deserves to be there, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Stardew, probably I could have swapped Mansions of Madness.
I really, really, really thought that Stardew would be your number 1.
No,
I did.
Too Many Bones is too good.
So, Too Many Bones, yeah, it's too good. In Too Many Bones, you are playing as a gear lock, and all of the gear locks are asymmetrical in how they function. This is like a dice building game where you are going through an adventure and an encounter deck, and different things are going to be coming up along your journey that are going to give you some choices. Maybe you have to do a battle with different baddies that are put out onto the board, or maybe you are going and collecting some treasure, or you're leveling up because you have to level up your hero your gear lock throughout the game, until you eventually get to the final boss baddie. Somebody argued with us in a video that this isn't a boss battler, but I'm sorry.
I don't know how that's
true. You're eventually getting to the boss to battle them. You have to get through all of the other baddies and everything, but it's heavy combat. And you're doing that by rolling a butt ton of dice, and all of the gear locks work so differently. It is very complicated and difficult and long, but it is amazing, and we love it.
It doesn't say boss battling on BGG, but...
I don't care. I say what I want.
It's definitely boss battling. My number 1 is Too Many Bones.
There you go.
Too Many Bones is like the perfect amalgamation of my love for RPG video games into board games. I think of any game that does the RPG, like upgrading of your character, tech tree type situation, where you're like, you know, getting different abilities and like getting more defense and getting more attack. Like Too Many Bones does it the best. Just with the way they use the dice. It's super challenging. Every time you play it is somewhat different. All the gear locks play completely differently. It's a lifestyle game, and you know, I never really understood it. I didn't understand it until I played it. And then I played it once. I was like, this game is terrible. Come to find out, we made it incredibly difficult for ourselves.
We played it wrong.
And then we played it again. I was like, oh, this is incredible. So I definitely understand the cult of Too Many Bones at this point. And it's a game that we need to get into doing our content, actually, speaking of which.
Yes, big time. We're going to be playing through all of the gear locks, and then we're going to be ranking them. My number one is Stardew Valley. Everything Jeff said. I don't know.
Game.
There's something very, like, warming about Stardew Valley, and it's just, like, the artwork, the teamwork. I know, like, some people have complaints about it. It's like, oh, well, you just end up doing one thing the whole game. It's like, hello, have you played Stardew Valley co-op? If you've ever had a co-op farm on Stardew Valley, like,
everyone does their job.
Me, Jeff, and Nick have a co-op farm on Stardew Valley.
Yep.
Jeff mines, I fish, Nick farms. Well, and I also just wander around and I water things, but then they bought sprinklers and then I lost that job. But, like, everybody has a job. You put in your work. And so the board game's the same thing. You pick a kind of a career. You also
don't have to do that. I don't understand that argument.
You kind of pick a career at the beginning of it, and you're like, okay. And everybody collectively is like, all right, well, we need to do this, 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 and this. Because every round a new card is going to come up that, like, there's different challenges and all of these things. So you have to, like, collectively, like, okay, well, we need X, Y, and Z because you only have so much time to complete the game. And that's why it's so hard because you have 1 year. So you're going through different seasons and you have all of these goals that you need to complete. And, like, as you're halfway through the game, you're like, oh my God.
We've only won once.
Yeah. Yeah, we've only won one time.
At 3. We've never won it 2.
We've never won it 2. But it's just super fun. And if you're able to find a copy and play it, especially if you love Stardew Valley, even if you don't, honestly, like, it's still super fun. So that's my number one. And I thought it was going to be your number one.
No, Too Many Bones, for sure. I thought Too Many Bones would be your number one.
Yeah, it was back and forth. So those are our top 10 co-op games. We would love to know in the comments below what are some of your favorite co-op games. Is there anything that was missing from our list that you're like, oh, I thought that you guys liked that game?
People will say people are going to say Pandemic, The Crew.
Wrong. Don't like The Crew.
Those two.
We don't.
Spirit Island.
Yeah.
Those would be the 3. Those would be the 3. It would be like, where's Spirit Island? Where's Pandemic?
Not on this list. Not on this list because it's our list. We encourage you to make your own list. You can put your own list in the comments. We'd love to know.
Oh, I'm not complaining. I just know. I know will be the 3 questions.
Yeah, we'll get those questions for sure. But that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games like any of the many we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
And if you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
There it is.
Juno thinks it's
not yet, Juno.
Not yet, Beans. I have multiple shirts on. Something in your ear. Ew, it's dirt. Old dirt ears. How'd you get dirt in there? You're really going hard in that yard work.
God, I don't know.
You never seen it?
I have.
With our
but probably
pride deep
only
inside,
once.
We are one.
I've watched the Lion King trillion times.
Trillion?
Same as Aladdin.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the second and third once each.
Man, the second and third ones are actually good. Remember his dad?
No, I don't remember any of the second and third.
The King of Thieves, I think is the third one. It's about his dad.
Yeah.
And he's the King of Thieves. Spoiler alert. He's not a great guy.
What are we going to have for supper?
I don't know. Zoodles. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games. Why did you go so slow?
Did I?
Yes.
Well, I'll speed it up. Hello everyone, welcome to Foster the Meeple, board game all about.
I'm not partaking in your shenanigans.
Beans is having a snooze.
Yeah.
She had a big day. She ate a lot of grass, rolling around in it. She was outside almost all day. Ugh, I could say whatever I want. Juno's chomping nails again, in case you can hear. It's usually very loud on the videos. That's her. That was her.